Blessings to all. Share this YouTube for everyone to see and kick the neck.
31. Caste native. Kulawa ka matli symbolism isa mukheta parividjay su kaman vajama Asia supanang border dija vikulawa hasutetti. Moreover, Tiluguru Buddha, who was the leader of the Dharma at one time, was also a devotee of Devaram Vehera. One of the monks who was suffering from drinking alcohol said, Arabia this Jatak. Two monks who were friends living in the city of Sawit went to a Danav and saw rain, which meant one pursue a three. Among those two, one of them has a veil in his hand. One does not. Both of them had a debate one day, and the monk with Priyankada did not bow before the other person and embraced him. The other bhikkhu did not suffer thirst and drank without drinking. Both of them gradually went to Jetavana and bowed down to the Buddha. The omniscient one spoke about health and suffering and asked where he came from. Lord, we visited a village in Kosol Danav and came out of it saying, I'm high to see you. When I asked if the two of them are compatible, he said, Lord, the monk who does not wear a veil. This monk argued with me in the middle and said that he does not wear a veil. Another monk is called Swamini. He asked if he knowingly contaminated water with animals without filtering it. At that time the Buddha was real. He asked if you knowingly consumed water infested with worms. Yes, Lord, I buried the unfiltered water. When the sage heard this, the sages before Mahana, the two sages who ruled the heavens and were defeated in the war and passed through the sea due to a miracle, did not sacrifice their lives and gave life to the honorable charioteers except He Asa Mahatyasas. On the last day, a Magadha king will reign in Rajagaha city of Magadhara. Just as our great Bodhisattva who had the riches of Bodhi at that time, Shakra Devendra was born in the village of Mawala in the country of Magadha, in the same way, he was born as the son of a caste with great resources in that village of Mawala. The days when names are given to them are said to be great princes. The Bodhisattvas came of age and became known as Mahamanavakas. Then their parents brought a princess from a similar caste but betrayed them. Those Bodhi animals grew up with children and became philanthropists. Panchasila is constantly protected. At that time, that village will be 30 houses. That's about 30 people. One day there are people doing industries from the center of the village. Where the Bodhisattvas were, they swept the sand with their feet and removed the garbage and beautified the area. At that time another person came and was there. The Bodhi animals were also distraught except for the other 3 litters. There was another one coming. The Bodhi animals were once again in one hand and then the other 3, and they were fascinated by the places where they were all and made a pavilion there in the recent half. Later, apart from the pavilion, it was made into a hall. In that hall, a pin pencil was placed on the rafters. In the recent half, 32 villages joined the Bodhi animals. Bodhi beings set up the 30 of them in Panchasila and from then on they walk with them doing merit. All of them do meritorious deeds with the Bodhisattvas. They get up early in the morning with axes in their hands and cut the stones that were hit by Sataramandhi etc. Odds are even. Those rods are lathi. Ponds. Halls are made. Donate shall protect. In this way he preserved his virtues with the help of many Bodhisattvas. At that time, their village money was thought like this. When I used to kill these people when they were drinking, I used to treat them with respect to them. The great human beings who are trained in Kali do not commit suicide by saying that they are performing austerities. Kipi went to the king and asked if they would do penance and said, Sir, many thieves are going around robbing villages. The king heard his words and said, Bring them all. Then he went and brought them all bound, and informed the king that all the thieves had been brought. The king did not criticize what they had done and said that it was not holy and that they were baited by elephants. After that, all of them were brought to Rajat tribe. At that time, the Bodhisattvas admonished all their congregations, saying, "Reflect on all the Silas, and show mercy to the slanderers, to the kings, to the elephants, and to your own body." They did the same. Then they all led the elephants to Kota from Akusa so that they could weep. They don't talk to elephants. He runs away crying loudly. Seeing that, another elephant was brought. He went the same way. The king saw that those elephants did not kill people and asked them to put some medicine on their hands and test them. The inspectors did not see. King Juruvan Vahansai said, "If so, there is no mantra." After checking, they said whether you are a mantra of purification. Hearing this, the king's men criticized. Bodhi also said that there are animals. The kings now knew that they had mantras to protect them. The king called them all close and said that he will recite the mantra that no Bodhi animals are kings, and if not one do the Pranavadha. I will not lie, I will not drink, I will meditate on kindness, I will give charity, I will do good deeds, I will do ponds, I will do halls. This is mantra for us. It is fulfilled. He said it will work. When the king heard this, he was impressed with them and betrayed all the wealth of the gossippers to them. When he gives bait, from then on he will do more and more merit as he likes. A large hall was built at Satara Mansandi. A carpenter was called and started building a hall. Since there is little love for women, women were not celebrated to make that hall. At the same time, there are 4 women in the house of Bodhi animals named Sudharma, Chitra, Nandaya and Sajata. Among them, Sudharma is a nephew together with the carpenter. Atlas was given that I will be the leader of this hall. The carpenter promised that it would be good, and first he cut a rod for the pebbles, dried them, drilled them into the pebbles, and closed them with a cloth. Then, when the hall was finished and the stones were raised, he said, "Oh, we will not remember one thing." When he asked what the pinwata was, he asked if he wanted a mandalik. He said, "When we take a certain height, it will not be accepted by Karan with a stick that has just been cut. First, get a pebble that has been cut and pierced." When asked what to do now, he said that if there is a sandblasted pebble in someone's house, he will look for such a sandbar. The searchers whom he was baiting did not ask for the price when they saw the pits in Sudharmavan's house. At that time, Sudharmavan asked me if he would bring me to that hall and give me some pebbles called Ganu. He said that we will not celebrate women. The carpenter asked EBUs and said, "O nobles, what will the bait say?" Apart from Brahmaloka, there are no other 3 names without sastris. The pebbles will open. He said that then our industries will flourish immediately. He took the pebbles and put pencils on the rafters that are finished as the hall, saying that everything is good, and always put porridge rice to give to the poor passenger beggars. Furthermore, a wall was built around that hall and a door was made. Sand was buried inside the walls and a row of palm trees was planted outside the wall. Chitra also made a garden near that hall. Even though the garden is blooming, there are all the villages where it is possible to say that there is no asawal tree. Nanda also made a pond there. That pond was made of 5 ponds. The mind is black. Sujatava Kali did not do penance. After that, Mahabosatano is to attend to the mother, to attend to the father, to attend to the clan elders. The 7-fold vows of not telling lies, not speaking harsh words, not speaking gossip, and removing Masurumala are all peaceful. Mathapeti harang janting kul jeta pachenam. Sanahing sakhila samhasing, pesuniya pahaitan. Maro vitai uthantahang, Sachin kodhabhiging tarang. Thangve deva tavathinsa, ahu safariso iti. In this life, which became praise activities, Shakra Devendra was born in the divine world. Humans are also born in that divine world with the help of Bodhi beings. At that time the Asuras were living in the Tautisa Bhavna. Shakra Devendras, what is the benefit of our unjust government? Asuras poured the divine liquor and split the drunken people into two castes and threw them on the ground. They came to the Asura house where he was baiting. There are 10,000 yojana places like Shakrapurya in the Tautisa divine world under Mahamera called Asura Bhavna. There is an evergreen tree called Chitrapatali, like the Parasturuka of God. This will not be our divine world when the Asuras painted the Chitrapatali tree. In the divine world, the heavenly flowers bloom. Foreign flowers do not bloom in this world. Therefore, you know that this divine world will not exist. At that time, they got drunk with our liquor and threw it into the great ocean to take our divine world. Therefore, we will fight with him and take our divine fullness. At that time, the Shakras who were defeated by the Asuras got into the Vajayanta chariot, which was about 100 yodhan long, and started going across the surface of the southern ocean. At that time, the car was speeding across the sea and came to the green Imbul forest. On the road where the Shakras were going, the leaves of the Imbul forest are broken and spilled on the sea like the leaves of a palm forest. The Garuda Potakas rolled on the sea and wept loudly. Hearing that, Kshatriya was discussing the relationship with the charioteer named Metali, and Metalia heard the cries of Garuda's calves. Ask what sound this is. Lord, because your chariots are speeding through the Imbul forest, the Garuda Potakas are afraid of death and are crying. The great bodhisattvas who heard this said, He will not be afflicted because of us, and we will not kill him because of a miracle. Because of them, we sacrifice our lives and defeat the Asuras. Matalia, the car is different, he said. Hearing this, Matali, the divine charioteer, stopped the chariot and approached the divine world by another route. The Asuras saw that the chariot was spinning and the Shakras came from another chariot. Fearing death to prevent the vehicle from being re-energized, they run away to Asura Bhavna. Sakrayo also went to the divine world and was in the middle of the city surrounded by the Lord of the heavens. At that time, the earth fled and the Vajanta Prasad, which was 1,000 yodhan high, arose. After winning, the building was named Vajayanta because the site was raised. After that, Shakra Devendra got 5 shelters to prevent the Asuras from coming back. Mahameru planted snakes in the front of the rock. Garuda was installed in Dvityalinda. Danava Rakshasas were planted in Tirtyalinda. Devils were planted in Chetutalinda. Keeping the protection of a shrine, the Shakra Devendras eat divine resources. At that time, Sudharma came from the human world and visited the Shakra Devendras themselves. The tall Sudharma who gave 500 to those Sudharmas with her skill. An assembly of its own jewels appeared. In that divine council, the Shakra Devendras sitting in a Pavarna Partika under the white canopy are the critics of the work of the divine beings. Though Chitravoth, Para Paricharika was born to Shakra Devendra himself. A garden named Chitra came to them from the skill of making a garden. Even though the Nandas were born, Padaparicharika was born to Shakra Devendra. From the skill of digging the pond, they had a Pushkarani named Nanda. Because Kali, who was Sajata, did not do any good deeds, she was born as a girl in a forest. Shakra Devendra did not see the Sajatas in check where he was born. Knowing the place where he was born, he went there and left those little girls and went to the divine world. Foot nurse was born. Kali, who is not skilled, is born in a nasty vagina. From now on, he advised to preserve the gills, established the panel in virtue and took it to that mountain ridge and died. From then on, penance is bloodless. When Shakra Devendra went there for a few days, he went there in order to protect Motomosil, Samyatha Duhoi Vemsana, and he made a fish image and knelt down in front of it. If that squeal is a dead fish, grab it. The fish shook its head and said that this fish was alive at that time. Shakra Devendra saw that and said, backward, no Samyata to protect good, virtue, and went away. That Katini was born in a potter caste in Varanasi. Shakra Devendra, who is investigating the birth of Kekini, knows that Nia, who was born in the Kumbal caste, takes a heap of gold pebbles and takes the pebbles in the middle of the village in the guise of an old man. People came and said, Lord, give me. Hearing that, the Shakras say, I will give to one who preserves virtue. Thipi Silraku, they are critics. When the people heard this, they said that God is at the cost of not knowing what it is like to observe austerities. I don't care about the price. I will give it to those who observe the virtues, said Shakra. The people said that this man is some kind of troublemaker. When Sajata heard that, he went and said, backward, give it to me. Mother, they asked if it was Silraku. Yes. When Rikimi said, I have brought this kekiri to you, they left the door of her house with Gala. That woman also kept her austerities for her life and gave birth to a daughter named Chuna and Vepavitya. Even though there are excellent pictures from Silraki and Usas. After that Asura named Vepachitti gathered the Asuras that when the Asura maiden came of age Mahidu would take a husband for herself. At that time, the Shakra Devendras said that they would check the birth of that Sajata now and they would catch a Vallabha who had the intention of Sajata knowing the birth in Asura Bhavna. They disguised themselves as demons and went to the place where those demons were gathered. At that time, the Sujatas brought the Asuras close, but they said that Vallabha, whose intention was to be caught by you, would be captured. O you, seeing a Shakra, Lord Shakra, who took his hand as a gesture of love and said, This is my lover, took the nobles to Shakrapura, and made them lead the women in a drama. Lord Buddha, who was the teacher, left this sermon to the end. He scolded the monk, saying, Where is Kali? In the Narayanika order, would the monks spit unfiltered wine with animals? At that time, Matli Sanjakwa was Anandasthavira. At that time, he said that he wondered if the one who was born as Shakra Devendra was the same mother who became the Buddha of Tiluguru Samyak.